This is a surprise review slash surprise reaction. We're going to be doing a simultaneous upload first reaction to Geass, Lelouch, The Resurrection. We were privy to be able to see this early. I have my man here, big gold belt, Najir. What's good, man?
What's up, Sam? Hey, and thank you to the good people at Funimation, man. Like, it was definitely a very big surprise to get the email to saying, "Hey, we got something hot for you guys. We need you to check it out." Thank you to them again for the opportunity to preview a movie that, in the animation world, I think needs to be on everybody's radar if it hasn't already. You got time now because it's coming out, both the dub and the sub come May 5th.
Yep.
May 5th for the Japanese sub, and 7 and 8 for the dub in your local theater. So you might want to be checking for tickets right now if you're watching this right now. But I can't wait to break this down. It's very, very, it's a lot of good things I want to talk about this. But Code Geass, man, 10 years later, and here we go.
So let's go ahead and just break down our experience of it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have not had any prior knowledge or understanding of Code Geass. I'd heard things about it back, I think, over 2007, when so many people were like, "Yo, this is one of the best animes ever." It went through, I think, 2 different seasons. It's had 2 movies before this one, and now the debut of this has like hit the world hard, and so now it's available in theaters. And like Najir said, like, you definitely might want to get your tickets because I had a blast with this. The
Yeah.
animation, the feel of it, like, it was a different kind of presence to what I remember from Robotech and what I remember from Gundam. This is very different, vastly different, because the main character, Lelouch, is unlike any other character I've kind of like seen in a long time. And I think that we're going to try to break down as much of this as we can, because this takes place long after a certain amount of events that have happened previously in seasons and other movies before this,
Hmm.
where now Lelouch is in a situation where he has lost himself. He's lost his mind. He doesn't know anything about who he was. And so that's how we started off. And then we got CC or C2 really trying to be there in him for him and advocating to make sure he gets his mind back. And I think that's
Yeah.
an interesting platform moving forward, because everybody else surrounding him was assured that this man was dead. And so
Yeah.
from there, I'll let you take it over, Nigeria. So what was your experience of this, man?
Okay, right. So yeah, this is the fourth movie years later, and here we are with the release. I gotta say, first off, I know people are very particular about if they want to watch the dub or they want to watch the sub. We review both,
Yeah.
and I watched the dub first. Obviously, don't speak Japanese, so I wanted to get a feel of the dialogue and the importance of the chemistry between the characters, because it does significantly set a tone in the beginning of the movie. Your main character, again, like you said, lost himself in Lelouch, and seeing the people gather around with him. And first of all, Johnny Young Bosch, who does the English voice for him, that's one of my favorite voice actors. I got to tell you, he did not let down at all, because he went from being in the role of not knowing himself and kind of like goofy and unsure, and unlike what you see down the line in the movie, where he becomes the leader with confidence and just a certain amount of like novelty to himself. And to see his voice range in this character almost feels like it could have been 2 different people voicing it,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
kills it by himself. Like, super impressed with his performance here, and it's absolutely amazing. But yes, my thing for this movie is, for sure, like, I know everyone has their go-to favorite animes of right now, and even maybe up the path. But I can assure you that this series, especially this movie, has a little bit of something of one of your favorite animes in this movie. Now we're talking about we talked about Mech, so
Yeah.
you're a Gundam fan. The action here is like no
Ooh.
other. It is no other. The brutal, the animation between, like, it's crazy. Um, the Geass, people who likes power ups and stuff like that.
Yes.
And there's this one scene where they're trying to strategize who another person's Geass is, and it's something like I don't feel like I've never ever seen in the anime how that had to play out, and it's so good. But yes, you have your power up enhancers and stuff like that. And my favorite part of this movie, hands down, is the score. I
Mm.
the battle melody and the overall theme is so good. Like when I first watched it, it was stuck in my head for the next 15 to 30 minutes, and I'm trying to be proactive. I had some things I had to do, and I just kept going back to one particular scene where I just was like, dude, like it is amazing. And when this is released in the big in the on the big screen, being able to have those big speakers and the animation, it's going to be a ride for sure. Like
Yeah,
I I
absolutely.
I'm just I don't know, dude. It was a really solid movie. I think it was about 2 hours, and it absolutely didn't feel like it. And it just again just with the constant action, the drama unfolding, and just the animation is just it's amazing, dude.
Yeah. And I guess to piggyback off of that, being a person that had no prior knowledge of the subject matter, I think that this will make you very intrigued about going back. Because in the very beginning of the movie, I looked at Lelouch and I was like seeing CC working with him, and it was kind of just like, okay, he's not the main protagonist. He might be the villain. Like I was kind of like in my head, I was like, should they bring this man's memories back? Like, if he was
Mm-hmm.
killed, what I'm saying? Like, should they bring it back? And so then I was like, immediately, like, I was like, the guy, Suzuka, was the main protagonist. I thought, like, legit, Suzuka, because, I mean, Yuri Lowenthal, he's the voice of the last Spider-Man game. He played Peter Parker. He's a great
Mm-hmm.
voice actor, if you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of just like, I was like, he's the person that has this amazing, nightmare named Lancelot. And so I was like, he's got to be the man. He's like the main fighter. Like he's got all the skills. And in the very beginning, like you realize, no, this isn't about him at all, because something
Mm-hmm.
happens to him, and he's taken off the board quick. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like it's evident that there's also some animosity between him and Lelouch. It's like a love-hate relationship, and just from
Mm-hmm.
that alone intrigued me to want to be like, yo, I gotta go back and see what
Mm-hmm.
this is, because there's it's this as much as this movie is very in your face with action and just amazing visual scopes, and like you said, like the amazing score, the character interactions are there. Like there's a essence behind every single character that you can feel like they have history, they have connection, and they mean something. Even if I didn't really understand what. There was one moment where Lelouch interacts with, man, I don't know if I want to spoil it. Let's just say he interacts with the main antagonist, and the first time that they interact, I was like, oh man, like Lelouch is a straight up savage. Like if he really wanted to, like he could just end it all. But then
Yeah.
something happens that I was just like, wait, yo, he's not the best player on this board. And it's kind of just like, how do you deal with this now? Because now, no matter what you plan, no matter what you do, you have to not only rely on everybody, but you have to go into full desperation mode. And I think that it starts to break down to certain layers of Lelouch as a character, as much as everybody else around him, everybody else that believes in him, and everybody else that is even trying to combat him. Because there are certain people that in this movie that really aren't all for Lelouch's return. And the other part of this is Zero, because
Yeah. The persona. Yeah.
the persona of Zero has been taken up by Suzuka. And
Mm-hmm.
up until this point, now Lelouch has to take a step back into that role in some regard. And yeah, it's really good. I can't spoil anything. But I just want to comment that the characterizations and the details between each character really is defined really well, and really does pay homage to that classic form of character design that all those older shows like Robotech really had in spades, especially Gundam, which I really loved. Specifically Gundam Wing. I would make a really good comparison with this movie. This one did feel like Endless Waltz. Endless Waltz was one of the things
Yeah,
about that was, as much as it was amazing to see these characters, on a film, it was a whole other thing to have them just back and forth coming at each other because they all have their own kind of direction. And at the same
yeah,
time, there was an evident threat. And it felt like at the end of that movie that this is it. This is a good
yeah.
conclusion. And this movie feels very much so like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'll let you hang off.
I want to put emphasis on the voice acting crew, the English voice acting crew. I just want people to understand how stellar this team is. Yuri Lowenthal is the voice of Sasuke. He's the voice of Ben 10. Um, Chris Sabat is on there. Obviously, Vegeta
Yes.
and All Might. We talked about Johnny Young Boss. Kate Higgins, who's where is she from? Every time it slips out of my head. Some
Ooh,
animated,
ooh.
some animated games and stuff that I'm into.
Yeah.
She's also in Naruto as well too. But nonetheless, a stellar all-star team of English voice actors that
Yeah.
the fall off for the people who's used to traditional Japanese voices. They do not let down at all. And again, I did watch the English dub first, went back to the Japanese sub, and the same emotions, especially the scene you was talking about at the end with with Lelouch and Suzuku. The resolve at the end did feels like, and even the very very end feels like
Oh.
just a bittersweet, like, here you guys go. Like, I just for me, I just want the fans, anybody's listening, to understand, like, this is the movie that you want to go see for sure. Definitely coming up this week. Again, English sub is going to come out first, May 5th. And then then the English dub is going to be in theaters for 2 days, 7th and 8th. Anybody that's ever been to a theater to see a Funimation film know that you want to get your tickets early because they sell out, and then you're just out of luck for a while until the DVD is released. But I think that you definitely want to make sure that you treat yourself right to this because the visuals deserve to be seen on the big screen. Funimation does do a good job in the conversion, and when you do get it on Blu-ray and stuff like that. But considering the ride that you have here, and we keep emphasizing on the animation, like, you definitely want to see this on the big screen. The fighting is catastrophic. I mean, we haven't even talked about some of the brutal killings that happen in this movie.
Oh
Like,
my
it's
god.
it's it's a little bit of something for everybody for sure. Like, it's a very complete, solid project for sure. And it's
Yeah.
hard. I can give you so much of my feelings and reactions to this. I'm not trying to spoil some of the stuff, but, like, the action starts off right away, and as soon as you get invested in a character, you never know what's going to happen to him immediately because no one's safe in this movie. This one particular scene, I was like, "What?" I was like, "Not like that," and just keep watching because it's a thrill for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely say that, and I think that also is a credit to the writing, because the antagonists, I should say antagonists, in this film were written very well,
Hmm.
because it was clear. At first, I was kind of just like, man, what is the real end goal here? What are they trying to actually do? And then
Hmm.
when you really realize this unfolded in front of you, I was like, yo, they are a real threat. On top of a real threat, like, they have devotion. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting because there's a brother sister interaction there that I found was so interesting because the brother has this, I don't want to say, let's just say he's not the best, but he's striving to be that. As much as even the sister's trying to strive to be the best at what she does. And I think that I found it so commendable because I was like, there's a part of me that's like, man, am I rooting for them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just like I didn't expect that, but it's kind of like they make really great antagonists, and I think that they were just written very well. But I think anybody that are like lovers of the original cast and the original characters, you're probably gonna just like gush about this because I did go back and look at the first episode of the whole entire series, and I was like, oh. Oh man, I need to look at the rest of this. So if you don't know, you can go and check out the full entire first and second season on Hulu. I think the movies are available online as well, probably
Yeah.
through iTunes and probably through Amazon most likely.
In
But I think that
Funimation.
in Funimation, absolutely, and I think that they're all worth it. I think that they're
Yeah.
all worth it. I don't want to say much more just because I can't believe that I'm a lover of this now that I've only seen one thing, and
Yeah.
that's all it really took.
Here's a good thing too that for people that always want to know: do you need to prep to see the older movies to see this? You don't. You do
No,
not legit have to. One, for storyline purposes, sure you're gonna. It will help to evaluate some of the chemistry between certain people, but it's a solid movie itself. You do not.
yeah,
So do not fear of going to the theater because you have no understanding. Look, have faith that for big anime lovers as we are, that this is absolutely the ride that you want to go on. Like it's definitely worth it. Something I was going to bring up too that you just brought my mind up about too. Um, oh, talking about the story. One thing that I tend to sometimes have problems with anime is that you always say, "Oh, the good guy's just going to triumph and he's going to win," and that's just that. I legit in this movie said, "There's no way they're solving this." Considering the plot, and again, I'm not trying to spoil. There was a predicament where I was just like, "There's no way they're gonna figure this out."
yeah,
The bad guy has the upper hand, and they got it figured out. There's nothing they can do, and even this is Lelouch after he has restored. He found himself again, or they found him. Whatever, we'll go see it.
yeah.
Um, there's a point even still when you just knew when all of the good guy forces is all like our guys back, here we go, we got this, and even then they're just like, oh my god, we're not understanding. I mean, it's something for sure. I can't give no more. I'm done. I don't want to. I'm tippy toeing around. I don't want to. I just want people to get hyped to go see it because it is just that. It's fun. I'm going to see it in the theaters for sure. So, okay, again, we got to review it early, so we got to see it on our smaller formats. But this is a big screen, big battlefield here. You want to go see that?
Yeah, nah, definitely. I know exactly what you're talking about because the best way I can kind of put it is think Infinity War, think Thor at the very end of Infinity War, and just him like, yes, I got it. And then it's like, nah, you ain't go for the head, homie. So yeah, that's the best way I can put it. But you're gonna love it. Again, thank you to Funimation for this. Thank you also for in the past being able to help us out with the Dragon Ball Z, our Dragon Ball Super, Brawly, and just interaction with that. That was amazing. Definitely check out our content. We've got some really good things coming up for you guys. I don't want to spoil, but this man of the hour, Jared's gonna be going and doing coverage for San Diego Comic-Con. Already went to AwesomeCon, did coverage there. So there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, but I just want to let you guys know that we appreciate you guys for watching us. Thank you for
Yes,
checking us out because we wouldn't be able to do any of these things short of you guys pushing into what we're trying to do. Definitely
right on.
go down to the description bar below. Check out Big Gold Belt Podcast. It's in the description bar below. Anything big coming up for you, man?
We got a few things working on. I'm on vacation right now, so I can't really look at my cow, but I do know I got a couple of few projects coming up in the wrestling world of things. That's my forte. But also, like you said, I'm looking forward to the coverage of the different cons we got coming up. And again, with opportunities like this coming out of nowhere at times, you got to stay tuned. You got to stay locked because, like, you just never know. And look, we 2 days ago, it just was like, hey, and here we are. So, you guys, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell because you just never know, man. It's just like that. And here's the thing. You got the review, the reaction from one of the best reactors out there on YouTube days before before it comes out. So with confidence, to go see it for sure. Sam ain't gonna do y'all wrong. So y'all again, hit that sub button, share, do all that good stuff.
For facts. Alright, you guys, keep it locked.
Big
JBS,
facts.
we ain't gonna stop. Talk to you guys a little bit later on. We gotta cover some other stuff. Alright. Peace.
Yeah, peace out.